Washington, January 2025. Donald Trump stood by the huge window in his office at Trump Tower, watching as the city slowly woke up. The sun was just beginning to rise over the horizon, bathing the streets in golden light. In his hand, he held a letter, old-fashioned, handwritten, on stiff paper. It was a letter from a Vietnam veteran he had met a month ago at a charity dinner. "Mr. Trump, you said you would support us. But we are still dying on the streets, without help, without hope." Trump clenched the letter. He knew that politics was a complex business, but these words struck him deeper than he had expected. 3 weeks later, a press conference at Mar-a-Lago. The room was filled with journalists, cameras focused on the stage where Trump stood. He looked unusually serious, no usual irony, no sarcasm. "Today I am announcing a new initiative, a support program for all U.S. veterans. Not just words, not just promises. We will create a fund that will truly help every person who has served this country." The room fell silent. Even the skeptics in the press stopped for a moment. "We will start by providing housing for homeless veterans, quality medical care, and rehabilitation programs. And I will personally make sure this works." Applause. Questions. But most importantly, the reaction on social media. Finally, someone is actually doing something. This could change everything. But not everyone was satisfied. That same evening, the office of a Democratic senator. He's playing politics. This is just another trick. Senator Michael Graves fumed. His assistant, a young analyst, nervously tapped his fingers on the table. What if not? What if he actually does it? It will undermine our argument that he ignores social issues. Graves clenched his fists. Then we'll find a way to stop him. The first week of the program's implementation, Trump personally visited several veteran support centers. He spoke with them not as a politician, but as a human being. "How are you feeling?" he asked a man named Jack, who had served in Afghanistan. Jack, with scars on his face and a vacant look in his eyes, replied. No one ever asked. These words affected Trump more deeply than any survey. But the very next day, the Washington Post ran an article. Is Trump's new initiative just a cover for cutting other social programs? The conflict escalated. Debates began in Congress. Republicans supported Trump, but Democrats demanded transparency. Where is the money? Who will control it? Graves shouted. And then a leak. An anonymous source revealed that part of the funds could be directed to business projects connected to the Trump family. A scandal. The press pounced again. Is Trump using veterans for his own benefit? Trump was furious. This is a lie, but I will prove they are wrong. Washington, February 2025, 1 week after the scandal. Donald Trump sat in his office, newspapers spread out before him with glaring headlines. Trump using veterans? Anonymous sources reveal corruption. Can the new program be trusted? He quickly scrolled through Twitter. The trend hashtag Traitors Not Veterans. Thousands of posts accusing him of betraying those he promised to protect. This is madness, he muttered, gripping his phone tightly. Suddenly, the door opened. His senior advisor, Dan Scavino, entered with a grim expression. We found the leak. Meanwhile, at the Veterans Assistance Center in Philadelphia, Jack, the same veteran Trump had spoken to a week ago, stared at the TV screen in the common room. The MSNBC reporter was speaking. Isn't this program just another empty promise? Other veterans gathered around Jack. Some of them had already received assistance, medication, consultations, even jobs. They're lying, Jack whispered. An old Marine named Tom slammed his fist on the table. We know who's helping us. And these politicians, they just throw around words. Trump holds a press conference. But not at Mar-a-Lago. He chose a military hospital in Washington. In front of him, dozens of veterans in wheelchairs, with bandaged eyes, with scars. The cameras turned on. Have you heard the latest news? That I'm a thief? That I'm robbing those who defended our country? He paused, looking around the room. And here they are, the ones I supposedly deceived. Trump walked over to Jack, who was sitting in the front row. Tell them, Jack. Tell them what happened after we started this program. Jack stood up. His voice was soft but firm. I lived in a tent for 5 years. Now I have an apartment. I have medicine. I have hope. The room erupted in applause. But the opponents won't back down. Senator Graves appeared on Fox News. This is theater. Where are the financial reports? Where are the guarantees this isn't just PR? That same evening, anonymous hackers posted a conversation between Graves' aides online. We need to destroy this program. If Trump gains the trust of veterans, we'll lose the next election. The world was outraged. Veterans are fighting back. The next morning, 1,000 former soldiers gathered in front of the Capitol. They didn't come with slogans. They came with stories. I'm Sergeant Maria Gonzalez. I served in Iraq. For 2 years, I couldn't get help. Now I have therapy. I'm Captain Robert Klein. I lost a leg, but not hope, thanks to this program. Social media picked up the hashtag Veterans for Trump. The finale of Part 2. Trump stands on the White House balcony. In front of him, a sea of people. Veterans, their families, ordinary Americans. They call it politics, but this is justice. He raises his hand. In it, an executive order to expand the program to include all veteran families, without exception. And no one will stop us. Washington, March 2025, leak investigation. Dan Scavino entered the Oval Office with a folder of documents. His face was pale. We found something unexpected. Trump took the file. On the first page, a photo of an old acquaintance, former Vice President Mike Pence. Is this a joke? No. His team funded the fake news. He worked with Graves through shell NGOs. The camera shows Trump slowly placing the paper on the table. His fists clench. Meanwhile, at Pence's house, the former vice president watches TV. On the screen, live coverage from veteran rallies across the country. His wife, Karen, gently touches his shoulder. Mike, maybe it's time to stop. Pence pushes her hand away. I won't let him rewrite history. At that moment, the phone rings. An unknown number. Trump's press conference. Live broadcast. Trump stands in front of U.S. flags. Behind him, dozens of veterans in uniform. Today, I will tell you the truth. On the screen, behind him appear Pence's correspondence with pharmaceutical company lobbyists. An audio recording of Graves. The room goes silent. They were afraid we would destroy their business built on the suffering of heroes. Rebellion in Congress. A crowd of journalists outside the Capitol. Republicans and Democrats argue right on the steps. This is treason, shouts a Republican congressman. Where's the proof? It's doctored, shoots back a Democrat. Suddenly, Jack appears in the crowd. He approaches the microphones. I'm not a politician. I'm just a soldier. But I'll say this. Whoever is behind this, you betrayed us twice. First in war, now at home. His words spread across all TV channels. The final scene. Night outside the White House. Trump alone in his office. On the desk, a new bill, Veterans Full Support Act, signed by 90% of Congress. The TV is on, showing Pence being escorted to jail. Graves has resigned. Suddenly, the phone rings. Mr. President? It's Jack. We and the guys just wanted to say thank you. Trump looks out the window. Outside, thousands of candles. Veterans stand guard in honor. No, Jack. I should be thanking you. Washington, D.C., January 2025. The morning sun cast long shadows across the Resolute desk as President Donald Trump reread the handwritten letter for the third time. The paper trembled slightly in his grip. Mr. President, they promised us help after Iraq. They promised us care after Afghanistan. Now I'm dying of cancer in a VA parking lot while bureaucrats tell me to wait my turn. The signature read Sergeant Marcus Green, 3rd Infantry Division, accompanied by a smeared fingerprint that might have been blood. Trump's knuckles turned white. He'd seen the reports, 22 veteran suicides per day, homeless camps outside every VA hospital, endless red tape denying benefits. But this was different. 3 days later, Mar-a-Lago press conference. The ballroom crackled with tension as network cameras zoomed in. Instead of his usual boastful demeanor, Trump stood solemn before a row of empty wheelchairs. These chairs should be filled with American heroes, he began, voice uncharacteristically quiet. Instead, they're in alleys, under bridges, or worse, 6 feet under, because this country forgot its promise. Then came the announcement that sent shockwaves through Capitol Hill. Effective immediately, I'm executive ordering the following. Full medical coverage for all veterans at any hospital. Automatic disability approval for combat zone veterans. A federal takeover of the VA's claims department. And we're paying for it by cutting Pentagon pork projects. The room erupted. Fox News cut to a live shot of 3 Republican senators visibly pale. MSNBC's cheer in red. Trump declares war on military-industrial complex. Within hours, the opposition mobilized. Defense contractors leaked a classified report warning of military readiness collapse. VA bureaucrats anonymously told CNN the plan was logistically impossible. Son Elizabeth Warren tweeted, "This is a cruel stunt. Where was this concern when he cut veterans' benefits in 2018? But the real bombshell came from an unexpected source. 8:47 p.m., Breitbart News alert. Leaked audio. Joint Chiefs Chair Jen Mark Milley allegedly told staff, "We'll stonewall this through procedural delays." The recording, time-stamped just 2 hours after Trump's speech, captured a voice resembling Milley's growling. He doesn't get to play hero after abandoning Syria. The system exists for reasons. Veterans' social media exploded with the hashtag General's Betrayal. Chapter 3, The Wild Card. At 3:17 a.m., Trump's motorcade arrived at Walter Reed. Network satellites captured him entering the PTSD ward unannounced. Inside, he met Corporal Leah Ramirez, a 24-year-old Marine who lost both legs in Kabul. Her viral TikTok showed VA doctors denying her prosthetics for being too attractive for disability. "They said I could still model," Leah told Trump, gesturing to her stumps. With what? The president's response was caught on a nurse's phone. "You're getting carbon fiber legs tomorrow. And every penny those bastards owe you."